That's right, guys. You want to know how to reconstruct a TradingView indicator even if you don't have access to the code. Perfect, because I found a way to do it using AI and some smart prompting. I went ahead and reconstructed some of the famous indicators like the money line from Ivan on Tech and Annie's ribbons. And in this video, I'm not gonna only show you how to do it, but I'm also gonna show you the performance of these indicators, because once I have the code, I can turn them into a strategy to see their KPIs. Are they profitable? How profitable are they? Are they better than what we already know? Oh my God, this data is quite important and the results are quite shocking, to be honest. And it's not even hard to do if you watch this video, because I will give you all the tips and tricks and also the prompts that you need. Another amazing benefit of having the code of the indicator is that you can turn it into a strategy and automate it, right? So buying and selling fully automatically on your exchange. I will tell you more about it later in this video. And because this is such a game-changing video, it doesn't make any sense to skip forward, because you're gonna miss out on some golden nugget information, right? So make sure to watch the video until the end and don't mess around. Before we start, make sure to like this video if it adds value to you, because otherwise the YouTube algorithm will never know. Also remember, this is not financial advice. Crypto is risky. You can lose all of your money, and that is why I run this educational channel, so that you can be ahead of the herd. Subscribe and let's go. These are the indicators we're going to look at today: the money line, Annie's ribbons, the MOST indicator, which you remember from my last video, right? How to automate TradingView indicators. I will put it on the top right corner. And if you watch that video, this is a type 3 indicator, right? Meaning no trading alerts you can use and no code you can use. And you guys requested a solution for that. Well, this is the solution. Simply reconstruct it so you have the code. And then you can do with it whatever you like, specifically improving it and automating it. And let's start with the money line indicator. This is the money line indicator here. And the second one is the recreated one. And this is already a trading strategy even. You can see here, right? It's already a trading strategy. These lines are perfectly on top of each other. But first of all, let me show you that this is the official indicator, right? So this is the money line, access granted. This is from bullmania.com. And as you can see, I don't have any access to the code whatsoever, but still I was able to reconstruct it, and I will show you how to do that. And how do you see that that's the same indicator? Well, it's because when you turn off one of them, the lines are still there, right? And the reason is because it's exactly the same lines, okay? Okay, Michael, we get it. You managed to reconstruct it, but how can we do the same? I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. You need to do 3 things. First of all, you need to clean up your chart and have only the indicator on the chart. You will see later on why this is important. Another way to get a clean chart is to create a new layout. Click on Create New Layout, call it Clean, click Save, and what you get is a chart with the volume indicator on it. You can delete it, for example, and just add the indicator you want to recreate, and that's it. Second of all, you need to go into the settings of the indicator. Click here on Settings, go to the Style tab, and make sure that only the lines are visible, or the information is visible, that actually matters for this indicator, right? So for example, I don't need to have this heat map down there, right? Because later on this will cause issues. So I turned off pretty much everything. I just have the uptrend and the downtrend. And that's all I need to decide when to buy and when to sell. And as well, when you go here, you can see that this bearish indicator here, right? It is coming when the line is red, and the bullish one down there, it's, where is it? It's coming when the line turns green. So I just need these 2 lines, right? And now what I want you to do is click here and click on Export Chart Data. But before you do that, you have to force TradingView to load enough data so that it will export enough information for the AI to reconstruct this indicator. And that means the more you make TradingView load data, the better, because you have more data to feed into the AI. So now I've made TradingView load more data, right? So you see, I have more data. That's enough. Usually I want to make sure that at least I have 2018-0101, okay? And from there onwards. And now I can click here. I can export chart data and export. Now let me show you how this data looks like and why it's so important. As you can see here, right, you have the timestamp, open, high, low, close of the candle. Cool. But now you also have the uptrend and where exactly the line is on that day, right, on that candle. and the downtrend. Well, there was no downtrend, okay? So it is basically either an uptrend or a downtrend. You don't need to understand this perfectly, but what you need to understand is that if your chart is not clean, then there will be a ton of columns here and it's way too much information for the AI to process. So make sure to clean it up and then export so you have only the relevant data that is, well, relevant for your indicator recreation. And when you go here again to the settings, right, if you would turn on, for example, the heat map, right, or you would turn on whatever, then these informations will also be in the export, and really you don't need that. And with this data in your hands and with the prompt behind me, you can then go to the AI and it will do magic for you. It will reconstruct this indicator. Now, let me show you the prompt. It's this here, right? And this is the Ivan Moneyline indicator prompt, but really the only difference between this prompt and the other ones with the other indicators is really that I'm telling it which columns from the CSV file to focus on, right? So I wanted to reconstruct uptrend and downtrend columns and nothing else, right? So that's it. And this one here is just for you to not forget to attach the freaking CSV file to the AI. And now go to Claude AI, which is the best AI for reconstructing TradingView indicators, and paste the prompt. And now you need to choose the model to use. And the thing is that Opus is the best, but it consumes so many tokens that you will run into limitations, right? So start with Sonnet 4.5. It's very powerful. And only if that doesn't work, then go to Opus 4.1. For this indicator, I used Opus 4.1. And the last thing I have to do is to attach the CSV file so that the AI has all the data it needs to work with. And let's go. And long story short, after a long calculation, it gave me the Pine script code for this indicator. Copy it from here, go back to TradingView, click on Pine Editor, click on Create New Strategy, delete everything that is in there, paste the indicator code, click Save again, and click on Add to Chart. And ta-da! Now you have the indicator reconstructed on your own TradingView account. And that opens up all the possibilities for you, like I said before, improving it, messing around with it, and automating it by converting it into a trading strategy. That's awesome, but let's try it again with another indicator to see if this works more than once. Let's reconstruct Annie's ribbons, which is a trend ribbon indicator. It's this one over here. Let's go to about this script. And as you can see, the script is public. You can get access to it right now and you can use it, but you don't have the source code, meaning that you can't do anything else other than look at it. Right? You can't automate, you can't improve, you can't do anything. And especially, you don't know the performance of this indicator. I will show you that for all the indicators we're converting today. And you remember, I told you to clean your chart, to not have anything else in there. And it's enough to basically turn off all the other indicators, and also make sure, double click the chart, that you don't have some indicators on the bottom. If you have, remove them, okay? Because otherwise you will pollute the data you will export. So the way that this indicator looks like, it has a ton of moving averages, all right? And they're not simply MMA 115 or MMA 135, okay? Those are just numbers. Those are not the MMAs that it's using. I know, because I tried, okay? So what I'm basically doing here is, again, I'm zooming out to make sure that TradingView has loaded enough data so that when I export it, I have enough data for the AI. And then I click here and simply export chart data, export. And once you have the file, open it up, okay? So you see how it looks like. And as you can see, as always, these first columns here are simply the chart of, in this case, Bitcoin on the 1 day. But you can see here we have MMA 05 and it goes all the way over to MMA 145, okay? And what I want the AI to do is to reconstruct all of these columns, okay? And when I go back to the prompt document, which the link is down below, scroll down and I find the prompt for this particular indicator. 99% of it is the same, but I had to tell it, right, that I want it to produce the same numbers per candle to match all MMA columns, right? Not just one or two. And I didn't want to enumerate all of them. That would take forever. And then I tell it that it has to take care, because if it looks at MMA 05 and believes that this is simply a 5-period MMA, it's not correct. It's a trap. Okay, and that's why I told it to take care of it. How do I know? Well, I ran into the trap. okay? And that's why I'm telling you, you have to watch this video until the end and not skip around, because I'm giving you a lot of golden nuggets here, right? So, okay, I'm copying the prompt, going back to Claude, pasting it there. For this particular indicator, I actually used Sonnet 4.5. I drop the data in there and wait for it to upload, and then I tell the AI to do its job. And again, after a long wait, it gave me this result. So the first one here is the MMA indicators. So I can click on this, simply copy the code, go back to TradingView, Pine Editor, and then create new strategy. I think I clicked strategy before, but actually this is an indicator. It doesn't really matter, because at the end I will just paste and it will know exactly that's an indicator, because the first line or second line tells it that. So that's easy. So click save again, and add to chart. And you didn't see anything change, because again, the lines are exactly on top of each other, right? So this way you can't see any change, but let me show you. So this is the original indicator. Turn it off, turn it on again. And as you can see, the lines are perfectly on top of each other. The only difference is, of course, the coloring, because that's something that this other indicator has decided to do. It's a bit hard to copy colors, but you can do it manually. Awesome. We have converted 2 out of 3 indicators already into code. And remember, because I have the code, I can create trading strategies out of them. Yes. So I converted the money line indicator into a strategy. The KPIs are down below. The Annii ribbon indicator into a strategy. Also the KPIs are down below. And we're going to do next the MOST indicator, and as well convert it into a trading strategy. And what I wonder is, which one of those has the best performance? Well, I guess you have to stick around to find out. And the last indicator for today is the MOST indicator. And the reason I put it here is because in my last video where I talked about automating TradingView indicators, it was a little bit of an issue. This one didn't work out properly, right? So I promised you a solution, and here it is. Okay, so this is the indicator about this script. You can see the source code is closed. We have no access to that, but you can also see it seems to have good buy and sell signals. But we don't really know the performance of this indicator. Even though it might look good with our own eyes, we have to see the KPIs, okay guys? This is quite important, and please remember, I never trade an indicator that I don't know the KPIs for. And think about it a little bit, you don't know any KPIs of any indicator until you convert it to a trading strategy. Now, what you're actually doing, if you're using an indicator for buying and selling, you're doing this. Let me show you, right? You're doing this. Oh, I think it's a good signal. I don't know how it worked in the past. I guess it was fine. I don't have the drawdown. Guys, what are you doing, guys? Okay, you have to know the risk reward ratios. You have to see the drawdown. You have to see profitable trades. What are you doing? Okay, that is why I make this video, to give you even more options to convert indicators into strategies to see what's going on, okay? So you can make better decisions. You're welcome. Okay, let's reconstruct this indicator as well. Let's open the settings and let's hide all the style stuff we don't need, right? So we don't need uptrend, downtrend. We don't need this. We don't need most of these things, because if you come here, you will see that the MOST and the EXMOV lines are the most important ones. When they cross, that's when it matters. And you can see that even by simply plotting the buy and sell signals, because that's exactly when they happen, right? When these lines cross, then that's the signal. So we just need the lines. We can construct the buying and selling ourselves. It's very easy to check if lines are crossing, right? So let's do it. So I've cleaned up my chart. This is the only indicator on it, and the indicator is clean, and it shows only what I really need, okay? Now, zooming out again to make sure the data is loaded, and wait for the data to load, right? So make sure you have at least 2018 in your data set, and the future as well, of course. And now click here and download. Now open the file and see if it's okay. As you can see, again, the open, high, low, close, that's fine. And we have the 2 columns we really care about, MOST and EXMOV, right? So that's the file we're going to give to the AI. And what we wanted to do is to use this data here to reconstruct this data over there, right? Okay, let's go to the prompt, scroll down. The link is down below to this document, right? And as you can see, really, I told it that I want the MOST and the EXMOV columns to be reconstructed. Very simple. So you copy the prompt, you go to Claude, you paste it in there, you make sure to also drop the CSV file, and then again, the AI will go to work. And after a long working day for the AI, again, you will get the indicator over here. You can copy it. And as usual, go back to TradingView, create a new indicator, delete what is there, paste the new code, save, and simply add it to the chart. Now, in this case, you will see the lines are not perfectly matching. I mean, they match most of the time, but sometimes the MOST indicator has a spike to the upside or to the downside. Let me show you. If I turn off our indicator that we created, you can see on this side here, whenever there is an uptrend or downtrend, they match perfectly, right? And also, what is most important, they match when it comes to the crossover. And let me show you that here by turning on the buy and sell signals. And here you can see that when they cross, then the buy signal happens, right? So that's what we actually need, because once we create this into a trading strategy, that has to match, because otherwise it's not the same result, okay? So the lines, they are not perfect in this case, and I didn't figure out how to create these spikes, but it doesn't matter because the result is exactly the same, simply because the cross happens exactly where this indicator shows the signals. The time has come to compare these indicators with each other to see their performance. I took all of the indicators, converted them into strategies, because once I have the code, I can do that. Now let's turn on the money line strategy. And by the way, all of these strategies, they trade from 1st of January 2018 on Bitcoin one-day chart, so that is fair comparison, all right? Okay, now let's turn on the money line and let me know if you think that the money line is the best of all of these three, okay? 3, 2, 1, ta-da! It makes 1,100% profit with about 46% max drawdown. Now, is that good or bad? Well, we have to compare, right? So let's look at the next one, at Annie's ribbons strategy, and see if that is better. Again, let me know down below if you think it's better. Write Annii, okay? Let's turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Exciting. It makes more profit, 1,700%, but it also has a higher drawdown with 57%. I think on Bitcoin, that's a bit high of a drawdown. Let's go to the MOST strategy and check if that is any better. 3, 2, 1. Not impressive, with 836% profit and 54% max drawdown. Well, in that case, I can just use Annie's strategy. I have pretty much the same drawdown, but way more profit. All right. So when it comes to the drawdown, the money line is the best one. When it comes to the profit, Annie's ribbons is the best one. Now that we know the numbers, we can finally compare with other strategies like the Gaussian channel strategy. I will put a video up there. Like the Ichimoku strategy, I will put a video up there. And also my personal strategy. Let's look at it right now. Do you think that my personal strategy is better than any of these? Let's check it out. 3, 2, 1. 4,300% profit with 20.6% max drawdown. Do I have to say more? And guys, I was just editing the video, yeah? And so the point I'm making is actually that you have to see the KPIs of that indicator. Otherwise, you don't know what you're using. You think it's great, but it might not be, right? So my point here is not to say money line is good or money line is bad or Annie's indicator is good, bad. It doesn't matter, right? Good or bad is relative. And also it might work very well on some other asset that I didn't test in this video, right? So the whole point of this is to give you the power to see the KPIs, right? To be able to convert an indicator into a strategy. And you knew how to do that before from my video that got 1 million views, yeah? But when an indicator doesn't show you the source code, you can't do that, right? You don't know the numbers. You can't compare with anything. That's why I don't release any indicators. I release only strategies where you can see the numbers, all right? That's my point. And also, don't forget that what I'm showing you here, the KPIs, right? I'm not promising you any of these results in the future. This is simply analyzing those indicators for their past performance. Okay, let's continue. Awesome. You now have the power to reconstruct indicators. But of course, as always, there is a small catch. There are a couple of limitations that you should know about. So when does it work and how does it work? What do you need? Okay, so first of all, you must have access to the indicator, right? So if you don't have access to put it on the chart, you cannot export the data. Okay, if you cannot export the data, you cannot feed the AI. And so that brings me to the next thing. In order to export the data, you need a TradingView premium subscription. Otherwise, they will not let you download the data, which again is a problem. And then again, the method works only with moving averages. For now, meaning that if you have an indicator that does crazy stuff in the background, for example, if it uses data that is not plotted on the chart and the export data function doesn't give you, then of course you cannot recreate that indicator. So for example, if it uses more than what is in the style tab, because that's all that's going to be exported, then it's not going to be possible to reconstruct this indicator. Also, if the indicator is using information from another chart, for example, going to the gold chart or S&P 500 or the COT, right? Then it's also not going to be possible because we don't know that it's using that information, right? So that is why I'm saying this works for moving average indicators that rely on those to make their trading decisions. That stuff cannot be recreated. I mean, I will continue trying, and once I have a solution, I will tell you. So make sure to be subscribed, hit the bell, click on all so to not miss out. If your crypto portfolio is $25,000 or more, then you need more than just trading strategies. Consider the AutoTrading Masterclass, where I teach you my entire process, including my trading strategies, of course, which are the best in the industry. Click on these screenshots and you will see every single trade they took. But you need the education to properly build a risk-adjusted portfolio, to know how to play the markets depending on the cycles and how to rebalance, how to use all of this to your advantage, right? Do your homework, by the way, check the reviews, watch the video here on the website, and you will understand that this is a limited access program for 1,000 people only. We still have some seats because I just started the program 1 year ago. This is the most advanced program that you can find. And this is just for higher net worth individuals, for people who have enough money to understand that risk management is the most important thing. Okay, so if this is for you, apply for access, click this button. We're going to talk to each other. If it's a good match, then you can join. And if you want to learn more about automating trading strategies on your exchange, which is very easy to do, then this is the next video you should watch.